Hello and welcome back to another video. So today is story time. I think that's the best way. Obi, please leave the camera alone. I apologise if you hear any noises. Obi is here with me in the room, so hopefully he won't be too much of a distraction. So as I was saying, we are going to be doing a story time. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this story is because, and it's been really hard for me to share it, so please bear with me, of my car accident, is because I want to give some advice that I would want to give to myself when it first happened, because it's not something that everybody goes through and it is not a nice process. So if I could have given the advice that I wish I could have, this would have been it. So let's get into the story. So on the 15th of April 2019, I was lucky enough to be driving my BMW 1 Series, which I will pop a photo in the screen now. So it was a normal week. I had been in a job for about a month into a new position, which I was really enjoying. I had been in a position within the same company and I had literally just moved downstairs. And I was really excited about the new process. So Monday came along and I got up, I had breakfast, I was all ready for work and I left for work. Now I was really excited because the next day I was actually going to visit our company warehouse in Milton Keynes. Now, because out of the 4 people that were going on this journey, I had the biggest car. 2 had Fiat 500 size cars and the other one was a little Citroen. So I had the biggest car out of the lot. And I was excited, so I got the car clean the day before. I had filled up, I was just about to fill up with petrol, and yeah, I was pretty much getting ready for the trip. So I left my house. Now there's 2 ways of getting to my company. Now the 2 main ways to get from my house to my job is there is the main route, which is out of the area into past the hospital and then up through a little village and then down into Tadley. And then the second route is where I live. There's like a shortcut, cutting the corner off, whatever you want to call it, type of country road that takes you out onto the main road on junction, and I've done this route all the time. It cuts like good 7 to 10 minutes depending on the time of day you leave, and I decided to take that route that day. So as I approached a junction, there was a car in front of me who then pulled out into a gap. Now as I was looking to the right, the left was clear, the right was not clear. So I started to roll forward and realised actually there wasn't a big enough gap, so I stopped. Now I hadn't had the car very long. I'd probably had the car, so I got the car in, so the 2018, so I think I'd had it literally less than a year. I think it was literally about a week to the day or something silly. And so I was conscious of the bonnet length, and now I always think on the BMWs they have a bit of a long nose, as my mum would call it. So I decided to think, oh, there's my gap. Left was clear, right was clear, but something was coming, but there was enough for me to pull forward. And then I realised that the lorry that was incoming was going too quick, and I decided not to roll forward anymore. Now with the gap that I had left, so as I realised that the gap was not big enough, I realised that the lorry was going too quickly, so I decided not to pull out. But I still had left about half a car length in to allow myself more rolling room if necessary. So the next thing I saw was the worst thing, and it haunts me to this day, and it still nearly makes me into tears, but I'm going to be strong, was the fact that he was whizzing around the corner, and I realised it was a big lorry, but you know when you don't realise until it's about to hit you, and in this case it was going to hit me. I realised the back of the trailer had a large JCB on the back, and the trailer had actually uplifted round the corner, basically nearly jackknifed around the corner, and gone up onto the pavement, and then was about to hit me, and it happened in slow motion, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen. And I just thought, few more rude words came out, but I don't want to swear on this channel. So basically it was a bit of a okay, and I braced myself because I was like, is it going to hit me? Is it going to miss? I genuinely had no idea what was going to happen. So the next thing was bang. So as I braced myself, I basically watched the trailer hit me. And the next thing I know, I am spinning a full 90 degrees to the left-hand side. Now, the next thing, my car is beeping. I am looking in a completely different direction, in the opposite direction of where I was looking originally. And the first thing I said was, well, I missed the lamppost. Actually, I don't think it was a lamppost. I think it was a signpost. And I had genuinely missed it by. And all of a sudden, panic set in. I thought, oh my goodness, I've had a car accident. And now this was my worst nightmare, and I mean, would never ever wish it on anyone. The sound still creeps me out to this day, and I'm still afraid of lorries. I will be honest with you. The big, like Tesco's, when it's written Tesco written across, fine. Buses, fine, not a problem. Anything that's open-sided or is carrying anything, whether it's a big skip or anything like that, or the specific company that hit me, because unfortunately they are local to my area, and I will not mention their name, or try not to mention it, I freak out and I start to panic. Within, not physically, but I'm getting there 2 years later. So the next thing I do is I get out of the car. I make sure it's safe to do so. Now, further down the road, I'd actually realised that one of my colleagues in her very distinguished yellow car was following me about 2 cars behind. I think there was a van behind me, and then she was behind the van. So I actually realised that she was following me. So the next thing I wanted to do was get out of the car. So I got out of the car. I actually remembered to shut the door, which was odd. Walk round the back of the car onto the pavement, which I would pretty much mounted. Basically, I was in the middle of the road, and all of a sudden I have turned and I'm fully off the road onto the pavement, as I said, missing the signpost by about this much. And basically I just collapsed on the floor, and then the next thing I do was look at my car. It is smashed. There's bits everywhere. The computer inside was flashing because I need more oil, I need an engine service, and it's flicking in between. And the next thing I heard was, oh Maddie. So the next thing I know, Jill, my lovely colleague at the time, came and went, oh my God, I can't believe I just witnessed that. The guy that was actually in the van, Mark, who I want to say absolutely thank you ever so much, I will never ever forget your name, said, I can't believe you just did that. And he went off to go and have a conversation with the lorry driver, who had come to a very quick halt in the bus stop next door. And I basically burst into tears, and I suddenly felt sick, and it was just all such a flash, and I thought about it so much in the next 2 years basically, and I just could not believe that it had happened to me. I then looked at my car and realised how much damage. I mean, both the front wheels were like this. The whole front had smashed up. But what remains me to this day is how immaculate the inside of the car was. So from the mirrors back, the car was untouched, and it was so clean because I had it valeted the day before for the trip up to Milton Keynes. And I remember going, oh my God, my baby. Like, that car meant so much to me, because for me, in the years of working in hotels and things like that, I actually realised that I'd achieved something and I'd got my dream car. And for someone to be irresponsible and drive like that and lose control of such a large vehicle that had a JCB on the back, and I think about it to this day and I think, blimey. And I actually, a few months later, I actually saw that vehicle again, and I realised how big it was. Like, you don't genuinely realise at the time because everything goes so quickly, and it was such a shock. So the next thing I remember is the lorry driver coming and checking if I was okay. I was completely fine at that time. I was just shocked and very, very upset, because obviously my car was in tatters and in bits. I mean, there's plastic everywhere. It was scarily unbelievable. So the next thing I remember is someone calling an ambulance and the police, because the road was blocked. the fact that there was a massive, my car luckily was out the way on the side, and then obviously his lorry had come to a very quick halt. There was buses trying to get through. Obviously it was at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it was normal traffic. It's on the busiest road going in from Basingstoke to Tadley. You just could not have timed it at the worst time of day. So the next thing I remember, I suddenly felt very, very sick, and I fell onto the floor, which then Jill very kindly went and got a blanket for me to sit on. I even remember the outfit, and it's weird that that outfit, or parts of the outfit that I still have and actually still fit, whoops, still sparks that twang of, oh my goodness, I've just had a car accident. It's very strange, but it's hard to explain, and I just could not believe it. So my biggest fear is I need to get a call into my insurance company. I also need to ring my mum, because I knew that she actually worked at the time in the building next to me on the same business park, and I knew that if she saw my car smashed, she would want to know why I didn't ring her. So the first thing I did was ring her, and she goes, right, I'm on my way. So the next thing I know, there's a fire lady, which obviously at the time of the NHS, now I thank them so much, because 3 fire engines turned up, no ambulance, but 2 police cars, I think, 2 or 3 police cars. Obviously they had to manage the road, make sure I was okay. They did a statement, things like that. They spoke to the driver of the lorry. He was very shaken. He was very like, I can't believe that just happened, because I saw your face, and apparently that has haunted him ever since. There's parts of me to go, well, that will teach you, but I don't want to be as bitter anymore. I've passed that stage. And the next thing I know, I am being spoken to by the first aider in the fire department, and she's asking me, am I okay? I said, I just feel sick, I'm going cold, I don't know what to think, my arm hurts. Like, all of this side was sort of, because it was so tense during it, it was like, oh, okay. I had pins and needles down that side slightly, but I think it was down to the impact, the fact that I saw it, so I braced myself. So I then got hold of my mum, who said, right, I'm on my way, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, because I hate talking about it, and she said, right, I'm on my way. And as the policeman said, I said, I apologise, there's going to be a white BMW 2 Series convertible appear. If she appears, that is my mother. So what I don't realise is my mum comes round behind my smashed car, the van that was behind me, who we took exchange numbers and things like that, and he went after checking me I was okay. And then Jill, who my colleague at the time, she rang in the office and told everyone what's going on. I also rang my boss going, look, I'm really sorry, it's really early, because she probably was just about getting out of bed herself. I'm a bit of an early bird, so I get there first. And the next thing I know, and my mum told me later, was the fact that she pulled up carefully, not as speeding as much as I always imagined her to be, and the copper said, are you Maddie's mum? And she's thinking, oh, the bloody hell do you know that? And she went, yeah, she's over here. And the next thing I know, I'm in my mum's arms, I'm in tears, and again, and you know, it's just crazy. So the next thing I know, I watched my car being pulled away on a emergency truck. Now, I pay with BMW for emergency service. They come and recover the vehicle, so my insurance, I'm not waiting for the insurance company to do all the bits and pieces, and they also provide me with emergency car within for the next 48 hours. So the next thing was to do that and obviously start the insurance company process. Now at this point, people are probably thinking, insurance companies, oh, here we go. You know what, I've been through the experience from start to finish, and I cannot praise them enough. I am with Admiral Car Insurance, and I'm on a multi-car policy. I cannot fault them enough. 2 years later, I have just finally closed the case with the insurance company, because obviously there was issues financially with people not being paid and things like that, and I could not fault them enough. And every single penny that I've paid for that insurance company was worth it. And I said, people are like, are you going to swap companies? No. Why would I? They did their job. I know they're going to be there for me. Everyone I spoke to the whole time was absolutely brilliant, and I could not fault them enough. So thumbs up, well done, thank you ever so much. Can't thank you enough, Admiral Car Insurance, for helping me on that. So the next thing I know, I am being taken to work, because the first thing was I knew my other half had just got in from a night shift. So he'd probably... Now the next thing was to work out what to do next. Do I go home or do I go to work? Everyone was going, Maddie, go home. You're not very far. Maddie, I'll drop you off, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I need to go to work, because one, I need a distraction. Two, Scott had only just got home from a night shift, so probably only been in bed an hour, if that. And the last thing I wanted to do was disturb him, because I needed to be surrounded by people. Whether they're people that want to hug me and go tell me everything's okay, I wanted to be surrounded by people. And I didn't get anything done that day. And I went home early. But the fact that I was surrounded by people and I gave Scott time and some sleep, I wasn't worried about myself, I was worried about everyone else. So the next thing I know, I'm being driven back to my company, and my boss comes out at the time, Stacey. She makes sure I'm okay. I give her a hug. They were looking for, you know, what they want to see what happened. I sent pictures. I brought pictures up on the thing, and obviously I'm then fighting on calls. Now, if there's any advice I could give to anybody before I start crying, is go get yourself checked out, because 2 years down the line, I'm still suffering from... Sorry, it's really hard to talk about. 2 years down the line, I'm still suffering from pain from the car accident. I've had 2 lots of physios, one privately through the insurance company and also one through the NHS, and there's something still not right. And because I'm so cautious about going to the doctors, I don't want to waste people's time. There's more people that have, especially now, serious issues that need to be dealt with. And I can deal with pins and needles, but when they are stopping me from sleeping, and, you know, I lose feeling and my hands go cold, like now I've got a warm hand and a cold hand, like it does not make any sense at all. And, you know, it's hard, and it's, you know, and if I could give any advice to anybody, it'd be go and get checked out, and also talk to somebody, because just talk to somebody, because you should never be alone in any of this. And no matter what, you shouldn't let it get to you as much as it did me. It ruined me. It didn't. I was doing my business. I was going to work, and all of a sudden my whole life is just upside down. I've got no car. I'm having to deal with people I don't particularly want to deal with, but you have to. And they say that sort of thing is one of the most stressful things apart from moving house in your life, and I completely agree with them. So definitely get checked out, talk to somebody, however stupid it sounds, because I wish I did. I wish I talked to somebody every day. I wish I talked to somebody early on, because there's certain things that still haunt me 2 years later. Obviously certain things have changed in my life, but it's taken me a long time to get over, and I think I would have been over those sort of things quicker. I can't be alone anymore for very long. A bonus of having OB, and it's not the reason we got OB, but it was to help me being alone. Driving was terrible to start with. I mean, I drove the courtesy car from BMW. I then drove another car which was provided by my insurance company. I then, between waiting for my new car to arrive, I drove my parents' car, and it really made me think and appreciate my actual car, because, you know, it's not nice driving someone else's car or something that's not yours. You know, you have to think, oh, I better not get any mud in there or anything. So yeah, that's a big adjustment. But the reason why you pay the money for your insurance company was because they're there to do a job when it matters, and they genuinely do, and they are chasing. It might not seem it from your point of view, but they are chasing, and I could not thank my insurance company enough. So one thing I did learn through this whole process was who actually genuinely cared. Like, I realised that the team that I just moved into a few months before genuinely cared about me as a person, not just, oh, you're an annoying member of the team. And for me, that was great to know. But also, I realised actually how much my parents, and I'm very lucky enough to have step parents on both sides with my mum and my dad, and I was very lucky enough to find out who genuinely cared. I had phone calls, they didn't stop ringing until they got hold of me, obviously through all the other phone calls I had during that day. And yeah, it's definitely been a hard experience. I genuinely did not think I would get upset. I've not been this upset over this experience for so long, but it's really great to share my experience, because although it was not a nice thing and I do not put it on anyone, I think that it needs to be shared, because it proves that the insurance company and the money you pay does go for those people that, you know, do that job, and they did such a fantastic job with me. But also, you know, realising who does care, and they do care. They might not show it. I mean, my dad, for one, I love my dad, he's my dad at the end of the day, but he's a man. He doesn't show his thoughts and feelings, and that day he rang me while he was at work, and it was only because I decided to ring my dad's phone, because, well, their house phone, and let them know that I'd had an accident. Please don't panic, I'm okay, but if you hear anything from the insurance company, that is why. And that was the only reason. I didn't want them to check up on me, I didn't want to worry them, you know. Since I moved out, I've got my own life, so I didn't need to get them in my stuff. And the next thing I know, my dad is ringing from his office phone, and he doesn't do that unless he really needs to. So the last part of this story, as I slowly calm down, is on the Saturday afterwards. I got a phone call from my BMW, basically, who had taken possession of my vehicle, and it was in a lockup basically, and they said, do you want to come and collect the stuff from the car? This is when I realised how much of stuff I actually had in the car. So I had reusable bags for shopping, I had my little Eeyore Tsum Tsum that sits on my parcel shelf in there, and my little shopping tidy, and, you know, little things like that. And I thought, actually, yeah, I do, because I take my personal belongings, but the stuff that lives in the car that you just don't think about. So I had to make the hard travel journey to Newbury, and again, this is where I thank my mum and my stepdad, because it was a lovely sunny day, and we took my mum's car, the convertible, and we drove to Newbury. And I had actually said to the guy, I don't think I want to see the car, because I didn't want to bring, it was all so fresh, it had not even been a week, so I didn't want to go through that trouble. And he'd actually removed all the stuff from me, but I did actually in the end want to see the vehicle, but I also wanted to remove the mats at the car. So after I removed the mats from the car, I actually did a bit of a walkthrough, horrified by the other car next to my car that was even more smashed up than mine, but they were gone. It was being written off, it was being sent off to scrap. And I walked up and down the car to sort of thank the car, because it had been my dream car. And after I walked away, I was in tears, obviously, but I felt closure. It was a while any Black One series I would get upset about, and there's actually a car around here now that has helped me. I know that sounds really silly, but the car is the same number plate, the same spec. The only thing is the last 3 digits is, I think 2 letters are the wrong way round, and one's different. And it's kind of helped me at peace. And the car that I've got now, I'm very, very thankful. So I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank everyone that was involved, from the insurance company, to my family, to everyone at work, to everyone at BMW for helping me through this tough experience, because without all the experts there, I wouldn't be able to be where I am today. And the only advice I can give someone: trust your insurance company, get yourself checked out. Whether you just feel a bit dizzy, get yourself checked out. And if you've got a problem, go and get it checked out. I left it for too long, and it was hard to explain. Oh, 8 months ago I had an accident and I still got pins and needles from it. And go get you checked out, whether it's mentally, physically. Just go and do it. Don't be afraid. You're not wasting their time, and then don't suffer the way I did. So that is it for this video. Thank you ever so much for listening to my story. I did not expect to get so emotional, but please like and subscribe down below, and I hope that the advice will help just one person. It doesn't have to help loads, just one, and I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.